Morning all. Morning. How's it going? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back. Last day of the year. We've had some movement overnight, finally, but it might ruin the setup today. But we're gonna find out either way. Have a bit of fun together. Do some giveaways and just end this year out strong. Okay, so what have we seen on the daily? We've been talking about it. We've been trading inside. We were trading inside the previous week's range. Here's your Monday, Tuesday. Yesterday, the inside bar we talked about. Overnight, we gapped down. All right, we came and filled into the Friday close. All right, so creating efficiency in here. Closing Friday, this grey box you'd have seen has been here the whole time into this low volume node, which we've repriced. We have found a bid off there. All right, on the job numbers, if you want to believe them. I would say that is about the most obvious cooking of the books I've ever seen. But hey, they are what they are. And this is what they do. So apparently they're revised and they're really good. They're better than expected. Bullshit. But anyway, they revised them perfectly at the perfect time to buy that dip. And now we can come back and look at the rotation back above us. So we're looking at the same area. So right now, what it looks like at the moment is a look below and fail as we come back into the previous week range, the previous day range, and the range on the current week. All right, as we come back inside that. If we go down to the hourlies, we're going to see a little bit more of an idea of what's going on. All right, so what I'm actually just going to do here is just do a fixed range from Sunday's open. All right, so that's the current weekly range. This blue box, if anyone was trading pre-market, this blue box is what I gave you in the weekly newsletter and all week. And we talked about this node here. Someone asked, do I look at volume outside of value? And I said, yes, and that's why. All right, so once we closed the gap and came into that node, it's clearly found a bid. It's been a very aggressive bid off that jobs number. And we've gone straight back where? Straight back into current week and previous day's value. All right, so if we think about this, previous week's value is here. Previous day's value is here. Current week's value is here. All right, and you have to ask yourself, are we finding acceptance below? At the moment, the answer is absolutely clearly no. We could not get outside of previous week's value. It had an attempt to leg down here and it instantly got reclaimed. So what does that mean? Currently, everything outside previous week is not being accepted. We're not accepting lower prices. So what are the possibilities this morning? We can go into more of a rotation, absolutely. We can potentially fail this point of control, right? 2 times point of control, which is where we're failing at the moment. But I'd be very careful about being too slanted into being bearish. Right? That's a decent reaction. So what would I be thinking? Well, can we hold previous day or previous or current week value? All right, so do bulls come in and sort of defend, let's call it 680s, right? That's the first level. Do bulls defend 680s? Let's need here. Sorry about that, team. All right, if they defend 680s, what are we looking at? We're looking at this same rotation. All right, if bulls defend 680s, right, that'd be a high low. We're looking at the same rotation back up to 740s, and then it's the same play as yesterday. Do we find acceptance through 740s? All right, and do they do something like this, all right, all day, or do we get something like this and come and try and get to the other side of the weekly value, considering we've just done a look below and fail? Are we now going to come to the other side of the week? That would be the first thing I'd be looking at. If bulls do a deeper drive this morning, right, bears defend point of control, current week, previous day, which is where we're currently finding a sell around these sort of 17s, 7 in the teens, 720. All right, and if they fail outside of current week and previous day value, then we'll be looking at this pivot here. All right, previous week value area high. So I'll be watching 680s to see if it's defended, 630s to see if it's defended. If that isn't defended, then I'm going to assume we're starting to potentially drift, all right, because this is overnight volume. We're probably going to drift down into here, 518s, and possibly all the way down into this old naked weekly point of control. All right, we have not tested that since we broke away from it. This is the area I've been really waiting for our price to come back to. So We have to be flexible, all right? We have to be flexible because we're trading inside a previous week, inside a current week. We found a bid without acceptance and we're back to value on those previous week, current week, previous day. All right, so we need to be flexible here today. Do not be too rigid, but I would say possibility for a dip opportunity here and here would be the first things I'd consider, all right? Unless we push and fail, right, at the open, and then you need to see, do they just slap us back all the way back down? But be flexible today. Remember, it's very light volume. Last trading day of the week, last trading day of the year, right? Very light volume. If we just move up into a 5 minute, do I need to make this bigger for you guys? There we go. If we move up to 5 minute, you can see how we've had that nice curl off the bottom. So Asia sideways, London expansion, gap been filled, gone back the other side, reclaimed 21, reclaimed 200 into point of control. And for me, momentum at the moment is with the bulls. It's just a question of if and where they step in. If they don't step in, they don't step in. It's as simple as that. Okay, lower time frame even. God, get your words out today, Alex. And let's have a look to see if we can see any divergences or anything going on in the ES. Let's have a little look-see here. Same kind of setup here on the ES. All right, we talked about this earlier in the week. All right, taking out this pivot, it's got another high to aim for over here. There's your pullback. If they're going to hold this and accelerate, they can look for that all-time high move. This is probably a nice 30. Yeah, right into the sort of bull zone scenario for a pullback to hold. So it all depends. Are they able to get going or are they going to get caught in this same consolidation here? All right, so do they fail this and do this? Do they keep squeezing? Or do bears just say, no, you're not coming back into this old balance which we created? If we look at the spiders, right, you will know, I've talked about it, they've had new highs created, a complete opposite to ES. All right, this has not created a new high up here. All right, so we have divergence in the SPY. Yeah, exactly the same scenario. Nothing's changed there. Finding a pivot off this little stop start we talked about. All right, bid off there. Might get stuck here. Might rotate more. Might come down, try and rebid. If they start losing this, this is where bears can really actually take control. So nothing too much to look at. Q's exactly the same. All right, little undercut here. Found a bid. Back to this chop zone. All right, this is the zone I really don't want to trade in if I can avoid it. I don't really want to start a new position there. So I'm open to dips, open to push and holds, open to push and fails, and open to re-offers under here. I don't really, if I can avoid it, I don't really want to trade into this zone, ideally, in an ideal scenario. Let's have a quick look at the VIX. All right, still the same thing we've talked about. You can see this is still happening here, folks. All right, still can't get through this pivot, but we are producing higher highs, higher lows in this pivot. It must get through here to find acceptance. Otherwise, this can be a huge build out of liquidity for a flush moment if the market does want to break higher. And let's have a look at the mag. How are we doing for time? Yeah, we've got to get through this. All right, Apple back inside yesterday's range, look below and fail, close the gap, slight gap down. Inside the range. Amazon pretty much flat inside yesterday. Well, I mean inside if you consider the after hours, but most of the range was created here, so maybe a slight gap up, possibility to go there on Amazon. It's possible. Goog inside yesterday's range, didn't look below and fail, opening flat. That's not a very good looking chart right now. Meta, remember that had strength off a catalyst yesterday, currently opening inside of yesterday's range. Nothing really to see there. Microsoft, same story, opening inside of yesterday's range, very slight gap up. Nvidia, this is the one. All right, this is the one. Nvidia finding a bid here this morning, trying to fill this gap. All right, it's got to get back above the 190s to really go. So any pullback on Nvidia which holds, I'd say 88, yeah, anywhere around the 88. If it's able to hold that, drive up to 190 and start accelerating through that, then it's back on the table for bulls. Tesla, this continues to just drip down after losing this ledge here that we talked about. All right, just in a strong channel down right now. What is that print? That's not a print, is it? No. Underneath New York, view up at the moment from yesterday. Question is, can it start to offer a bid and clean out some of these stops, all right, and maybe return back in here and then make a decision if it can get back inside or not. But you know, it's seen weakness there all for the last week or so, dripping lower as an equally weighted ETF. Slight gap up. Okay, so as an ETF with equally weighted, slight gap up. We've got targets to aim for. Let's have a look at some of the broader names. Oracle, inside yesterday's range. AMD has found a little bit of a bid with NVIDIA. AVGO, same story. A little bit of a bid with NVIDIA. Let's have a look at some of these big gamma exposure names. IREN doesn't look very good. IONQ going on there. MVTS, RGTI. That looks messy actually. 30-year. Sorry, folks, just go through everything very quickly. Has that been sold back down in? Still not through that key level. Good for bulls. Move finding a bit of a bid. These bonds this morning. Okay. All right. Let's see how we go. Let's just see how we go here. Oh. All right. No need to get aggressive. Very, very simple. We either hold these sort of 80-ish kind of level this morning and rotate back up towards these. All right. So we're either going to hold this morning. Come on, brush. We're either going to hold this around here for this move here, or we're going to come back down in here and see if they hold this. So maybe there's a flush opportunity down to here and see if they hold that. If they fail to hold all of those, then bears will take control of this market. All right. Something in my mouth here. All right. Morning, everyone. Morning. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to get through your names for a little while now, but good morning. Welcome. What indicator do I use to mark previous value area, high, low, and point control? I mark them out with horizontal lines myself. No indicator. No indicator. Okay. Where are we at? Nothing else coming here. No other news expected. Market opening in about 70-80 seconds here. Zoomed in on some of these. We will do some giveaways today. We'll give away some Apex accounts and some courses again. Yeah, this 80s is a big level, whether they're going to hold this or not. If they don't hold 80s, there is a flush scenario down to 37s. All right, so this area here is current value on the week, right, created from the Sunday open to now. Right, so can they open this hold this kind of area at the open? If not, this flush down to here is possible. All right, so we just have to see here. We're opening in a very interesting area. I'm not against buying dips if I see them want to participate. I'm also not against waiting to see if that previous week value area low is tagged back into. It looks like a decent level to buy off if we are going to see some bullish momentum on the last day of the year. Happy New Year, everyone. Okay. Getting a bit wonky. 5 seconds left here, folks. Nice and patient. No need to force anything. Here we come. Bids coming back in here straight away off this open around this previous day close. Let's see if they flush them out to previous week value area low, which will be down here, and let's see if they bid off that or not, or if they just trap the shorts early, which is at the moment what they look like they're doing. We just swept previous day low there in the New York session. Some shorts definitely got caught down there underneath the 70s. They're watching this already to see if we drive up and reclaim previous day value area low here. Is there anyone interested in participating this early, or are we going to come back down for these value area lows weeklies? There's definitely a few shorts caught down here, sub 70. We know this 80 is a big level, and if we fail 80s, we know this is a big level. They're starting to try and bid this now. Sell it up here into 95s. Are they going to reclaim previous day value area low is the big question for bullish momentum upside. All right, they've held 80 so far. Here we go. Here's the attempt to get back towards it. And there's still a seller there at 90 and 95s. Book's still very thin here at the moment. Yes, very low volume. It will be low volume today. It's been low volume all week. It will continue to be low volume until we get back to normal after the holiday season. Morning, low hanging fruit. Great name. Great name. Love that name. They're still not letting these shorts out underneath previous day low. Here's the acceleration. All right, I'm getting interested in this now. What are we going to do at previous day value area low? This is what becomes key. What are we going to do up here? They're going to resell it, or are we going to find acceptance back inside? Are we reselling this, or are we going to find acceptance back inside? So just waiting to see if there's a trigger up there. Give you a little readout on the mag. Tesla 1/3% down, Nvidia 1.50% up, Microsoft 0.09% up, Meta 1/3% down, Google 1/3% down, Amazon 0.17% down, Apple 0.10% up. As equally weighted mag, we are 0.09% down on the session. So a little bit of a mixed bag going on here. If they fail this, like we talked about, if they sell this, it is possible to come all the way back down to previous week value area low. Sure these line up. Yes, 36, 40s, there or thereabouts. Most of the mag now red outside of Tesla. Feels like they want to come down into this. So I'm trying to be patient. Like the opportunities really are we going to come down into this and bid off or lose it? All right, so probably need to be patient for this. I think they had a chance here to rebid over and they failed. So shorts took control here. Probably want to complete a rotation into this, and then we can sort of see what's what once we get down into there and reassess what's what. Here's the 50s, what we're looking at, 40s and 30s, I think, kind of area. Globex here, previous day low and VWAP on the ES as well. Same for the spiders. Feels like they should just complete this rotation down now. Just being patient here. Yes, coming down is that same level, like Globex and VWAP we talked about, previous day low on the spiders, all sort of around this level. So from here to sort of 30s, down into here ideally, and see if they auction off this. And if not, if they lose this, then we come down into this. They're finding a little bit of a bid early here in front of it all. So a bit front running by the looks of it. If they accelerate through here, there's not much until we get up to 700. There's a VPOC here from the current day at 75, which we just came into. And if they get through that, then it's possible. Sorry, croaky throat, we go up to 700, which is not ideal the way they've set it up. I'll be honest with you. They're front running it all. We need it to come a little bit lower first on absolutely everywhere that I'm looking right now. Point of control on the session right here. I'll get some volume on early. That is annoying that they've come into no man's land there, but there we go. Thin volume, we kind of expect nonsense. There we go. This is also slightly incorrect by the looks of it. Okay, back up to, like I said, we can come all the way up to 700s if it wants. This is value area high on the session here is 80s. We're starting to find a little bit of a bid here. The bid is a little bit early, in my opinion. It's a bit early in front of this. All right, so I want to wait for this or acceptance above this. I don't want to get caught in between the two. Not much to do if you get caught in between the two. How do I have conviction whether the market will stay in a value area on certain days at open or will trade out of it, like you mentioned yesterday? It's really based on where that volume is and where we're opening up. Are we opening up in value, out of value? How are we shaping up? Who's trapped during that session? How do we create volume during that session? All right, here we come back down into these key levels. Previous week below. So the question now is, do we find a bid here? It's the big question now. Do we find a bid here? If we don't find a bid here, we will come all the way back down for these lows. Okay, so they need to find a bid here, the bulls, if they have a chance in holding us up today for that drive and acceptance back into here. At the moment, and you would say bears are in control because we've rejected the old point of control up here. We've rejected previous date value. We've traded under previous week value. All right, and if we don't do one of these, then bears will look to complete the rotation all the way down, and you can't rule out this move down here, really. But let's just see. Still very early in the day. It's a good job from bears so far. Very good job from bears. VIX having a good spike here as well. So there is some alignment. I'm just going to let this just settle down though. With very, very, very low volume. Guessing no Santa rally. I mean, we did hit all-time highs on the spiders a couple of days ago. I don't understand when it's past Christmas, you've hit all-time highs. It's not like we're trading at lows, is it? We're trading in on the Qs at a midpoint of a range, and the breadth has been actually a little bit better if we want to be unbiased outside of tech. I wouldn't be too I wouldn't come down on the market too hard. Let's try and put it that way. All right, they're finding a bit of a bid in front of previous week low here. We had lots of short selling coming in here at 24 and 34, 35. So VWAP and value area low and previous week value area low, still probably the triggers to see if they get relief up or if they resell it. So this kind of area now that we're in, do they start to drive through and up, or are they going to resell this VWAP, resell value area low? These are the sort of 35s I've just talked about where sellers came in with strength. Or are we going to do this sort of look below previous week and start to find a bid, which is what they're attempting to do at the moment? I'm not convinced yet, but let's see. We just tapped right back into this same level as previous week value area low. It's very thin on the book. I'm looking at like sizes of 6s and 5s on the book right now. Would not take much to move this market. The big player comes in, will move quick either direction. So I want to be positioned the wrong side of this. Definitely left some sellers under 25 so far. Still early. They're starting to retest this player at 25. You can see it on the order book. They sort of started coming in at 35, 30, 25, 23s, 20s, and then 14s. So it just depends if they let these sellers out or not. They're trying to get back down to let them out at the moment. Point of control now flipped lower. They're letting them out now. We're starting to drive lower. And if we get acceptance under here for this previous week low, there is a deeper drive into Globex available. So right now, bears are defending this area here. And we talked about if they defend this, we can come down into this. If we get this move here, this will probably offer a squeeze up because we have low volume here. So still just waiting here. Not really too interested at the moment. Nothing perking my interest yet. If we reclaim, I'll be interested. If we flush really deep and I see it being more aggressive, I'm interested as well. Mag has starting to bleed a little bit more. I'll be honest with you. Tesla about to go green to red. Microsoft 0.27% down. Meta over 0.5% down. Google 0.27% down. Amazon 0.3 or 0.29% down, and Apple 0.19% down. So the only one that's clinging on there really is Nvidia. The rest of the market doesn't look particularly good, but you know, into a level of interest. This is previous week low down here. This is previous week value area low down here. They're very simple. We either reclaim this and start squeezing, or they're going to flush versus this and come down for these sort of Globex lows. And we do have that old naked point of control. I've got to remember where that is on a weekly. Where is him? Where is he? So next stops would be 520s and 330s. So we need to remember those 520s and 330s if they remain heavy. Big, big if. We're building out nice volume here right now, which can be used as a shelf either side. Pretty slow, isn't it? Pretty slow for a morning open. We've gone stuck in a 10-point range for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. Kind of what we expected, but oh. I want to say these bears look a little bit stuck, but bulls are not coming in and squeezing, and the volume is just non-existent. It's just absolutely non-existent. So I don't really want to think about a trap right now off no volume. And what size was that? That just got absorbed. 47 lot. Oh, so small. So small. CVD still heavy. They're trying to resell this. Here they go. There is some absorption taking place here. I just don't trust it. It's so thin on volume. It's unreal. There's definitely some absorption here into 17s. I think they should probably flush all these lot out. They've been here so long. ES making a new low. I think NQ is going to join it. We've literally gone to sleep here. Market is absolutely asleep. You understand, we're 15 minutes in and we're struggling to move 10 points. This is wild in not a good way, wild in a very slow day. All right, new lows ES. We still haven't taken out that previous week low. It's this green line right here. Building up lots of volume here. It's possible that they drift all the way down into here and take all this out if they really want to. That node there into 570s and then old value 525. But I'm really uninterested in how this is moving right now. This is to see this in the opening 15 minutes. To see 20 points like that. Oof, I don't know, mate. It's not filling me with confidence to do anything today, tell you that much. Finally breaking lower. Well done, Bears. That took you about 10 minutes to do a very obvious, simple move. Jeez Louise. Okay, so flushing coming now. Finally, they're using this volume for the breakaway. This is the next level, this blue box, and that's Globex low from overnight. If we get through there, there's an old... in fact, I'm going to put these on the screen so we can remember these. We have one little one here, and we do a white dotted line for naked POC maybe, so we remember it. Maybe we do it as red. Naked POC. There we go. So all the way down to that print. Yeah, good. Okay. Drifting lower. All of the mag now red other than NVIDIA. This is so slow though. This is really slow. These breakaways are a whopping 10 to 20 points. I mean, it's but we are starting to leave volume. This is the next level. All right, this was the volume created back in 15th of December. We did flush through this overnight and then refound a bid. So it just depends, are they going to hold this, look straight up, straight back down? We talk about that all the time. And I'd say bears are in control of this current session all the time. We're under this right here. Nope, don't want to change it. There we go. And this is their target, this one and this one. And if they get really weak, then we can think about all the way down to there. Like I said, this was a spoof move. All right, this is if you believe that newsprint, you're fucking not reading any bit of information ever. Absolute bollocks. Can't believe they get away with doing that, but they do. They do get away with it. Readjusting the numbers in a positive favor when we come into a very key level of the stock market. Who'd have guessed? Am I not trading today? I mean, if I see something I really, really want, I will trade. But we're you got to understand, we're very low on volume right now. So I would have to see something that's really screaming out to me to take a trade. Unfortunately, the way they've set up, like this rebid this morning was really good. You could argue there was a short here off the morning drive, but watching like such low volume, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Maybe there was an opportunity up there for the short. More interested as we're starting to build out levels now of like how we act. You know, if we reclaim value and start, very simple. If bulls reclaim this and this, we go straight back upside. So I'm open to that. If bears defend this, and I think we have auction left to finish, I'm open to that. When you're starting to see aggressive bulls come in front of this level, here's previous week. So this is perking my interest. Back to previous week low. Do they sustain a bid through here? Or does this just have the door shut on their face? And do we actually want to trade lower? There's still low-hanging fruit lower right now. I will say that much. There is still low-hanging fruit lower right now. There's still this blue box and Globex. And you can see previous week low, key level there with the volume above. So bears currently defending that. I'm just not in a hurry here, guys. Like last day of the year, not in a hurry here. So still unfinished business lower. Do I think there's a crash incoming and in another market? Can you bet on the Chinese market, for example? I wouldn't be betting on the Chinese market if you feel that the US market's going to get derailed. You're better off to take short positions on the US market. Or, you know, it's probably a bit late, but there's a reason. There's long exposure right now into gold and metals. Okay, back to previous week low again. They're starting to try and reclaim. They're going back to this grey box. These are your triggers up here. Do they reshort this? Or is this a look below and fail and we go mega, mega squeeze? I'm not ruling anything out because the volume's so light here. All right. So bears came in at 17s to 25. So that's the level bears will want to defend. All right. 5.17s to 5.25 is where they came in heavy. That is where they will want to defend. If they don't defend that, we can see a squeeze. So here's the test of 17s. We just talked about it. Literally to the tick. Yeah, exactly, CB. It wouldn't take a lot to push it around, right? You get one big player come in and this market changes direction very quickly or expands very, very quickly. That's exactly what I'm getting at. And you wouldn't want to be the wrong side of that because it will skip if that is what's going to happen. We're starting to see some bids turn up on Tesla and Goog here now, folks. We still have low hanging fruit below for sure, but we're starting to see some bids. I'd say shorts under 93 are caught. All right, so if bids start to hold above 93, the rotation is from there up to sort of the 17s to 25s we talked about. All right, a big if, but, and maybes right now while they start to make a decision. Do I think after hours are going to be important after 1st of January? What, because of the silver legislation coming in China, you mean? I don't know. There's been so much talk about it. I would say it's probably priced in, you know, but unless there's a discrepancy in what people think is going to happen and what actually happens. All right, they're starting to leave these shorts underneath 90s caught. All right, underneath here, we have some shorts caught. We just talked about it. Underneath 90s, right? Under here, shorts are caught. If we start to see this expansion now through these levels, you're going to see the squeeze. So I'm starting to get interested in this. We talked about this 17s, didn't we? 17s to 25. If we start getting through that, we're going to see expansion back upside and squeeze them all out. Here we go. All right, very interested now. So there's the 25, 17s to 25s. Here comes VWAP, looking for bullish momentum to continue this higher for a squeeze now. And especially if we get back through previous week value area low, it's a shame we left low hanging fruit here. But if we do this, I'm very interested. So some of you are asking, was it going to trade? I just need to wait to see the setup. So we've created a new point of control up here at 25s. Shorts, 17 still the level for shorts. All right, so they will want it back below 17s right now. Bulls will want to get back over 640 to really take control. They're coming back into these 17s. Let's see if bulls defend this and leave these shorts cooked, or if we go back lower. So into this grey box, letting this rotate for a moment in this grey box before I make a decision here. '17's big level here. You can see it on a book. Keep trading into it. There or thereabouts. If I say like an exact level, you know, you've got to give it a few points either side, folks. See, that didn't take much to reflush that. That was one player, and it wasn't much size. This is the worry. What did he come in with? 37 lot, and then he ran 100 lot stops there. So it's not taking a lot to move this around right now. This is the concern I have. Still underneath VWAP, but we're trying to reclaim previous week lows here. ES is also stuck at VWAP. This is possible. We're not there yet to do it, but it's possible. They can also reject this grey box and complete rotation to here. So I don't think I want to be bearish down here at the moment just because of how we're building out, but we'll see. Can they reclaim? You can see these 17s, big level. Big level. Here comes point of control again. Are we going to start to see expansion? Can we get through value? Can we get through VWAP? They are attempting to do it. Squeezing coming here. Here's the 25s. Now, can they get back up to 40 and take control? They're rebidding 25s. Looking good now. Here's VWAP. You'd want this if you're bullish to hold a print between 25 and 17. You wouldn't want it back below 17 in an ideal scenario here. We're trading around this grey area. There is a lift available here and a squeeze. Here they go. They're trying. Here we go, folks. So watching now for trigger back through 40s to add. Can we get back through 40s for the add? Point of control now at 24 on the day. Careful, won't take much to move this. I'm trading small size here until we really start to confirm. I'll add heavy if we start to base above 40s. ES back above VWAP just about, and then see if it can close a 5-minute candle up there though. Might need a pullback here on ES, so I want to be careful. Very thin, man. Very, very, very thin. They're rebidding again here at VPOC. Just be careful if they lose this. We did leave imbalances, so the first imbalance would be down to 12 and the second imbalance down to 98, actually. Right into these VWAPs on the ETFs right now. Sensitive area, I would say. All right, so we're visiting these 17s again. This is my over-under, really. Needs to hold this and get aggressive upside, otherwise I'm not interested. Don't like that. There's one big player just came in. I'm out. Let it rebid if it wants. This is the problem. It's so thin. It is not taking much. This is one player just feathered in, and suddenly we just washed 20 points off very light volume. Like if we're going to look at this, these are going to be tiny. 26, 25, 7, 28, 44, 8, 42. So into these buy-side imbalances. This guy wants to get a new low. He's starting to be more aggressive. What's your game, son? Is there anyone up bidding down? Okay, you were a buyer at 80, then 65. Where are you now? 75. Okay. Sorry, mumbling to myself. I was just looking at who's been bidding lower and moving the book around. All right, they're trying to have another attempt here. Again, 17, it's the same level, folks, right? 17 to 25 is where sellers are willing to be aggressive in this grey box. If we lose this grey box, all right, we haven't had the... I feathered in long from sort of here, draw from here to here, just in case we got this to add heavy. We didn't, so cut it. We're losing this now. We might well revisit this, this, and this. All right, if they lose this, we might well revisit it, creating a fairly standard D shape down here after leaving value. And we have not been able to reclaim previous week value. So technically, this is bearish right now. It's just what I'm seeing on the tape isn't really matching the levels. That's a little bit weird, but whatever, expected. Silver, yeah, well, silver's very volatile right now. I like that trade when everyone forgets about it and it's less crowded, because I want to take swing positions on it. New hour coming up here, folks, as well. New 4 hour, new hour. Where are we at in this hour? This last hour doesn't look very good, does it? Take care, Adam. You like the short? Yeah, I mean, the short is possible versus this grey box. It's just what I'm seeing on the tape doesn't feel very good for that move. Technically, it looks like there's a possible setup there to drive lower. I would agree with you. We've had an attempt, but what I'm seeing on the tape, it just doesn't look very good. The only time they're participating is in these 17s and 25s. They're trying to find a bid here, honestly. Clean this up a bit. Even up here on the tape, you can see I said 17s and 25s. All the passive re-offers are up at 25 and 30s. No one's like aggressively stepping on. No one's aggressively stepping on either side right now. There's like one guy who seems to step on for like 10, 20 points. Like he's trying again now. Maybe they're trying to get these fills down to 90s. But again, absorbed off nothing. Like, what were you absorbed off? Fucking 2 lot. What's in here? A 9 lot. Man, it's so, guys, it's really thin. I don't know if I'm going to participate unless we start breaking like big key levels. It's very, very, very thin. It feels like a Globex session. Watching the book. That's what it feels like. Oh yeah. They call. Yeah, under 90s is where they've been stuck, these bears, so far this morning. Yeah, I don't blame you, Ticket Zcan. I don't blame you. I think half size is a good way to be. Look, they can't get under these 90s. So these guys that were stuck here, right? They can't get under here, and they're not willing to be aggressive unless they're up here. They're sellers. So sellers are being aggressive in here and not in here at the moment. And these guys here are stuck. So we're just like building out, and this is not very big, folks. That's your rotation right now on low volume. So maybe we come back up and test these 17s again. I mean, yeah, there's not much here until then. I mean, you've got this previous week low that we're rejecting off, but all the volume is up above. All the volume is up here. No one's willing to transact down here right now. Testing its previous week low as well. What copy do I use? Affordable indicators. Affordable indicators. I think they want to go and test these. If they get through previous week low, they want to go and test these 17s again. It's a big if they can get through this level we're at now, these sort of 609, 610s. And then they just want to go and drive up and test 17 to 25 again and see if those sellers are still there. There is a seller come back on the book here, actually trying to walk down for the first time today. He's moved to 610. Anchored volume profile. Volume on the right. Anchored volume profile. There he is at 610. Let's see if he actually fills. They lift through it. So they're going to go 17s. They made it to 15s. We just talked about this. They're going to want to go. What is this thin book? Did anyone see that? That filled through and stayed there. Well, that ain't right. Shouldn't be filling and leaving it. That's bizarre. That order at 610. Weird. Very weird. We like skipped him and left it on the tape, so it didn't fill all of him. Not seeing that. That is an odd one. Back to him again now, the 610s. They're going to try and lift this. Honestly, look how thin the book's gone above. There's nothing here until 27s now. It's that thin. So back to 10s. 17s to 25s is where shorts are willing to play at the moment. Nowhere else by the looks of it. Back to this grey box. And honestly, if this is a high low and we lift through this, I'm still willing to look at this rotation above 40s. If you look at Bookmap with me, you'll see what I'm talking about here. Like, it's just, there's nothing going on, folks. With the size of these players, like 8 lot and 9 lots, and then we've got a wall, which is a whopping 29 lot. I mean, and in between. It's very, look, all these dark patches is very, very thin in participation. Not much either side. This is probably current value on this sessions. Not much either side going on. Just a slow day, very, very slow day. Which we did expect. Obviously, we did expect this. Do I prefer the Tradeify 50k Apex count or Rhythmic? Tradeify, definitely Tradeify. Do I think trading will get heavy again on the 2nd, or will there be another light day and everybody will be waiting for the 5th? I don't know. It's probably going to take a little bit of time to pick up volume again. Depends how desperate. Honestly, a lot's going to depend on tax season. It depends if they can start. Here we go. Here's the move to 17 again, we just talked about, and rejection of 17 again so far. And if they squeeze through 17, we're going to go 25s. And if we squeeze through 25s, we're going to go check 40. And it's at that point where I'll become vaguely interested in this market and not before. So you can see this lift to 17 right here. Keep talking about that's the level that they're willing to trade at. 17 to 25 is where they're willing to offer. They're not really interested in selling low, so they're not being aggressive at the lows so far. I can only go by what we've seen so far today. Things can change. What were you saying? Volume? Yes, I don't know. Yeah, I think a lot would depend on tax season. I would have expected, to be honest, any big losses that they had earlier this year, that they'd start to lift out of them and maybe rotate back into them cheap. But we're not really seeing that into the end of the year. So let's have a look at the calendar. I mean, yeah, fifth is where it gets more interesting for sure. Probably the 7th is going to be the first big mover. ADP employment and then job openings and US factory orders, and that's followed by initial jobless claims the next day. So 7th and 8th and 9th are going to be big days. How much do they cook the books, or do we actually get real stats without the bullshit? You know, do they miss 80% of CPI out next time again and pretend like they didn't include stuff and not talk about it, which is what they did last time? Do they cook the books like they did this morning? Who knows? I'll tell you what, there's fuck all job creation, and unemployment has been ticking up every month since January. And all you have to do is do a little bit of a deep dive beyond the bullshit that they put out, and you'll see that. So will cracks start to open in January? Maybe. I'd expect in Q1 there's some volatility coming. Oh, yeah, I'm asleep. I am asleep. Well, I haven't traded this morning. You've never seen me make a trade. Are you the same guy talking bullshit yesterday? Fucking moronic. See ya. What do you want me to trade? You're desperate for me to trade like a 10-point range. I've told you I'll be interested once we get over 40s. Like, fuck me, man. The amount of people in here who are so impatient. We've had some banger trades this week, even on low volume together. Yeah, I know. Well, you got to think. People are skirting around YouTubes and Discords, wanting people to hold their hand. Is this chart delayed? It will be whatever the smallest delay is, 4 seconds or 6 seconds, no more than that. We're just stuck here in this D shape. This is all we've got here this morning. Everyone's so desperate. He hasn't made a trade. What the fuck have we done? What do you want me to do in here? You want me to trade at a POC when haven't taken low hanging fruit and haven't found acceptance above, and we're just rotating? Like, you make that trade, mate. You fucking make that trade. Good luck. And come crying back to me in a week. I lost all my money because I don't know what to do. right, 17 is still the level being defended by bears. Still the level being defended by bears right now. POC has shifted down in this session. Bears are in control all the time. We're defending this sort of 17 to 25, this sort of grey box. All right. If we get acceptance above that, I think we have squeeze potential because we're very thin in this move down. All right. We were thin up, thin down. But we have unfinished business down here and down here. And that's really based off the higher time frame, not just based on overnight. All right. We have unfinished business. If we zoom out on the hourlies. All right, we have this node here, which we held pre-market. It might be that they want to close the weekly opening gap based on a new, God, I can't draw, a New York session rather than just in pre-market for efficiency reasons. If we get through that, we're watching this old value area high and we're watching this naked POC. All right, so if they fade this, if we get this expansion move, if we're thinking about, kind of awkward how they've done it, but yeah, we could get a 3 sigma move into it. It's possible. It is possible. Double bottom there on ES, still not broken into Globex. They're trying. There's just no aggression, guys, on the tape. There's literally like no aggression on the tape today. If we lose 2.6, can we get to 2.5412? 2.6. If we look, yeah, look, if we lose 2.6, the first level is that 550, 560, that node that we came into dating back to 15th. If we lose that, we can trade into 520s. If we lose 520s, we will trade into 340s, right? So yes, we can. We absolutely can. Look, we just can't, there's no aggression down here. Like I keep talking about, the only time sellers are willing to come in is 17 to 25. They are not willing to step on the gas down here. You have to understand that. Like, they are only willing to sell up here right now. There's some selling down here, but the aggressors, the people controlling the market, they're only willing to sell here. We're not seeing them sell here and walk this market down with follow through and push it lower. Not yet. We're not seeing that, which is why I'm very apprehensive about thinking about a short on low volume at low of day without seeing them want to just step on the gas. When you refer to the tape, can you explain to what I mean? Quite literally the tape. Quite literally the tape. Time and sales, order book, level 2. The book map is how I like to view it. Quite literally a tape. It's the equivalent of like a receipt being printed non-stop, right? What's the red cloud indicator? It's the flow zones, flow zone pro. Everything you see on here comes with the course. I'm imagining there's also probably a bit of a put wall at 685 on SPY. Seems like there's probably a put wall there on SPY. Because we're just pinned above it. ES wants to come and clean up, but it can't. We're just trading the same level. Back to the 17s probably here. We might get a lift back up and check them if they're not going to be aggressive lower. Point of control now is shifted to 607s. So still the same level. You see this grey box has kind of moved down, to be honest. We've moved this shelf down into here. All right, this is where we're transacting big volume. They need to make a decision away from this area. Tesla's trying to go red to green. Nvidia's 0.64% up. Microsoft 30% down. Meta just under 0.5% down. Google's gone green, 0.10% up. Amazon 0.28% down. Apple 0.10% down. Nothing's really moving here, folks. High gamma exposure names, RGTI, MVTS slightly red on the day. IONQ found a bid a second day in a row after its catalyst yesterday. IREN down on the day 1.5%. It's just very quiet. Just feels quiet. Sleepy day, yeah, exactly. Small IB. I mean, yeah, we got a little bit of time left for that IB to be set, but I mean, I'd say the problem is not the IB, because the initial balance high would be right up here, like 100 points higher. The problem is we've gone to sleep in here, right? We're not expanding this range yet. I mean, maybe there was a snapshot there to be had, but I just didn't really want to trade the open on a low volume day. But that's the only thing I've seen. The rejection of POC, the rejection of value, and that trade back down. And they did reject it twice here, in fairness. But yeah, I'd say bears have the edge in this market at the moment. Lower time frame, as in this market today. It's just, are they actually going to show up and be aggressive? What is the key component that drives gold? I mean, it's the same as everything, right? But it's currently it is the hedge to the dollar and to what's going on in US. You've got to understand that Asia has started selling. Here we're starting to see aggressive sells now. Finally, some aggressive sells have stepped into this market. You've got to see that with the rates going up in Japan, they have exposure to US, right? And if people want to unpeg to the USD and minimize exposure into things like the Qs, then they're going to start selling. So where is a safe haven? Safe haven is into gold. Okay, Globex been cleaned out on ES, not quite cleaned out on NQ, and we're trading at 685 on the SPY. Bears in control. We're finally leaving this area, so these are the next two zones. So we're into one of them right now. Globex is down here. This is the overnight low. This is the pivot from the previous week value area high dating back to, what's this, the 15th. So let's see. It is so slow. What is this indicator? Is which one? The main one on the screen is flow zones, right? Flow zone pro. This is just volume. Anchored volume to the 9:30 open. Okay, Globex taken on ES, not taken yet on the spiders, on the Qs. VIX is trying to get going. It's just dancing in a range though currently. The volume, yeah, it's a tool. It's not even an indicator. Let's just come over to here. Projections, anchored volume profile, right? And then just draw that on. All right, there's some bids shown up in this first blue box that we've had on our screen. All right, this is off that weekly profile. We did trade under this overnight. This is the overnight low, this orange line. Bears have come in versus 92s. All right, that's where they came in. 92s to 83s is where they came in with strength. So slow. So slow. All right. Value area low on this session now, 88. These 90s are key. This is where they started aggressively selling. Are they going to remain aggressively selling these 90s? At the moment, it looks like yes, they're trying to protect value area low on the day. Some passive buying down here. Some divergence on CVD starting to show up. Definitely a bit of passive buying down here. I'd rather they just get a move on and flush it all out in a hurry so we can do something. It's back to the 90s again. Back to value area low on the session again. Still unfinished business below for the Qs, but not for the ES. So they started selling into 92 on that way down. And the next block above that is at, I mean, it's not very far. It's at 601, right? And point of control is at 606. So I'd say, yeah, this node here is where they sold 92s right here. Flow zone still downside, still unfinished business lower. How much does London high, London, Asia, high and low play into your analysis? I mean, I do care about those. Here we go. So they're going to lift this now off that blue box. Like I said, we had passive buyers down there. You could see it on the CVD. We're going into these 92s to 94s now. And if they lift this, we're going to go up to the point of control. And they're just going to keep rotating and churning until someone gets aggressive. And we're just not seeing that at the moment. How much does it affect my analysis? I mean, it does affect it. But I don't believe we always need to sweep all the levels. But I do care about Globex. I don't care as much about Globex as I do New York because I care about the volume in New York. But I do care where participation happened. Like for example, in London, when we broke down under that low, all right, what we actually traded into was the high volume node back from Monday the 15th of December, and we didn't find acceptance underneath it. So this here, right, this blue box is a high volume node from 15th of December. You can see we don't find acceptance underneath it and we rebid off it. So this is still an important level for me, all right, because this is low. Well, this is low volume. This is, what should we call it? Fucking low volume, right? So I do care about the levels and how we act at them. We know buyers showed up here. If we get acceptance beneath that, then this is actually the value area high from that week. These are all the same levels from the weekly newsletter, right? Nothing's changed. Later, can we go over CVD? Yeah, we can go over CVD. No worries. $595 is a 20-day. Yeah, I mean that's it, mate. We're just at mean reversion. Like if we go to a daily, we're at mean reversion. All right, we're starting to bid with these sellers keep coming in now under 86s and getting stuck. We're back inside value, so we're leaving sellers under 86s stuck right now. All right, under 86s. Oh my god, they keep being aggressive under here and they're getting caught. This is compression. This level still matters. Sellers need to defend this level. If they don't, the squeeze happens. If they defend it, we can keep moving lower. But I will tell you now, from 86 to 83, it's a tiny range, but that's where big selling stepped in, and we're not trading under that yet. The range is so small, guys. You have to understand what I'm looking at here. Like, I'm looking at this pathetic amount here, right? Right, these guys are currently caught. If we let them out, this is possible. If we keep them caught, we've got imbalances up here to come and fill. But this is like, look, you're talking about like 10 points. This is why I'm not overly interested right now. But if we lift through all of this and we run all these stops, then, you know, maybe there's a 30-point trade to be had. All right, here we go. POC, like we talked about. Remember, ES did sweep Globex. ES has taken it. Here comes point of control. And previous week low. And do we find acceptance above this now? If we find acceptance above this, then we can look for a move up to 30s. I would say this is very much a see money, take money environment, folks. So let's see if we can find acceptance or if bears defend this POC here. If we can get through POC, I think there's a move up to 30s, probable. We need to get above and base, though. There's POC back tests. They've left imbalances all the way down to 93s because we're very thin. There we go. There's the problem with it being so thin. Down to 93s, we probably go here for a back test into these imbalances. So one imbalance is 600 to 97. The second imbalance is 95 to 93s. So do they fill those? And if they flush back through those, back to value area low, they will need to bid off you. Bulls will need to defend 86 if they're going to rotate. Even if you're a rotational bull, even if you're just looking for rotation, you do not want it trading under 86s. Look how dark the Bookmap is. There's just nothing happening here. I just don't want to be overly biased in this market. Same grey box, right? They're defending grey box. Bulls will want to defend. Bulls will want to defend here. This is the rotation. Right, bears win this, they flush. Bulls win this, they pop. I don't want to be in here. Right, this is where you get trapped. So either acceptance above, hold below, or acceptance below. In normal market conditions, is it possible to predict move up or down New York Open based on how much liquidity LR equal lows are above or below the starting point at New York Open? No, I don't think necessarily at the Open. What matters at the Open really is you've got to understand that big institutions are not paid to run out that any liquidity created. That's just a bonus. Big institutions will be told their positions. They're quite literally told you need to buy 5 million of Apple today at an average price of this, and you will get a bonus if you can buy at an average price under this or under VWAP, etc., etc. So sometimes that's why market on close and market on open imbalances matter, because they're trying to rifle through, you know, billions and billions of dollars worth, and that's the same at the open. They use that liquidity to just get in and out of the market quickly. So the first half an hour to hour is sort of important for them to get through their orders while there's liquidity for them to have the ability to do that. Yeah, exactly, TJ. So where Bookmap is dark, there's just no one on the book. Literally, there's just no players there, or no players of any significance. Right, back to VPOC again. So let's see now. This is the second attempt. We did just hold like we talked about. All right, we didn't come all the way down here. We held those imbalances that I gave you. And we're back to VPOC again. I'm waiting to see if we can find acceptance above grey box. All right, above grey box. Otherwise, they can keep defending it. There's just no size here. You're talking about tiny little rotations. You know, it's only going to take one player to come in and just be like, I'm in, and this thing will go 30 points, and it will feel like 300 points because we've barely moved. Yes, thank you, Miguel. Initial balance now set. Thank you, mate. I don't think it's even bulls are weak as hell. I just think the market's just slow. You got to remember, like we've done the moves this year. We've done the moves this year, right? It's still early. We're only an hour in. Just wanted to say appreciate your work, boss. I've been following your channel for a couple of weeks now, and I've learned so much from you since. Hey, you're welcome, man. So just testing this grey box over and over and over and over and over again right now. That's awesome, Green Otter. Glad you're enjoying it. Okay, so maybe the test value area low again. No imbalances left lower now. We'd filled them all already. So it's 85s maybe for a retest. I think the market is going to go all the way down and eventually recover in the new year. All the way down to where? Where do you think it's going to go all the way down to? I don't have too much of a bias right now, just because of on a daily of where we are. Right, we're right at the mean. Bollinger Bands are starting to contract. We can produce a higher low for one more shove higher if they want to absolutely, destroy everyone. If everyone's bearish bias based on macro environment and they want to be nasty, they will. Do I think the state of the economy is good? No, I don't. Do I think that always matters in the market? No, I don't. Even if you believe that we're early stage of 2008 kind of scenario, I don't think we have quite the same issues. But if we're going to go into liquidity crisis this year, it can take a long time to pan out. All right, you're going to need data to back it. You're going to need panic to set in. You'd be surprised how long markets can just hold up and drift around. No one really wants. You got to remember, no one really wants to see that move. No one really wants to see that move. So if they can avoid that, they will. I mean, everyone talked about that happening when Japan put the rates up, and I said, it's probably priced in because we already know. We've known about it for weeks, and this is the thing. But what really shakes and moves the market is when something isn't priced in. If you want my opinion, I think we end up doing 3 rate cuts next year. I don't think we do 1. I think we do 3. Why? Because I think the data will actually come out saying that this market's weak. Right? Lack of job creation. Job creation companies that are doing well have no job creation. They're not hiring. They're on hiring freezes. They're actually lowering their labor workforce and they're pivoting to AI. So everything's pivoting that way. That means you've got less consumer spending, which affects retail and commercial more. You've got, like I've talked about many times, more delinquencies, more small and medium businesses shutting down, more repossessions of cars month on month for the last 4 months now. Unemployment up since January, so 12-month uptick on unemployment. And I think you'll probably see the repos start to happen in the housing market as well. So I think that all combined will lead to the Fed to a big pivot and starting to do mass cuts. The question is, do we sell versus those mass cuts? That's kind of what I think. Payout approved. Good man. Good man. Good man. Rips made 395,000 today. Probably trading silver, I'd imagine, if he was trading with that much size. It's just Delta. It's just trading views Delta. This one, you mean? It's just trading views Delta. Yeah, we're just kind of asleep here, guys, and show you what I'm looking at. This is where sellers keep trying to come in. This is value area low. Sellers need to find acceptance underneath this if we're going to drift into some of these pockets down here. Every time we come down here, we're seeing absorption with very, very low numbers, all right? So it's just a question of, can we pivot down and start puking? Every time we come up to VPOC, we keep getting stuck. We can get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. Right, every time we come up to here, we keep getting stuck. You can see buyers have been caught above that, and then there's a selling block up here. This is the 17 to 25s that I keep talking about. That's where they're willing to be aggressive, right? So there's just, if you think about value area high is at 626 on the session, value area low is at 85. You're talking about a 40-point range day right now. That's what we're talking about. So when guys like this guy doesn't trade, I will trade when there's when there's size to be traded, when volume's there, when we're breaking away, when it looks good. I'm absolutely here to trade. I think you could well be right, Raf, but time will tell, my friend. You could well be right. I mean, we're not finding acceptance under value area low. We cannot expand under it. So I guess traders who trade rotation, you could keep dip buying this, selling this, dip buying this, selling this, dip buying this, selling this, dip buying this, and if you get acceptance through, selling this, and then maybe you get lucky. It's possible. If I make 2K a day for 8 days, can I take the 3K max twice without making any profit in the next 8 trading days? If I make 2K a day for 8 days, yes, you can. As long as you're sticking to the other rules, yes, you can. As long as your size is consistent, as long as you're not losing more than 30% or 50% now, is it, on the account? It's back to value area low again. Oof. Is there more people saying I don't trade? It's hilarious. I mean, what do you want me to do? You want me to fight over like 40 points? Exactly. Get paid to sit and wait. Okay, back into this same value area low level. Mag doesn't look too good outside of Tesla. Outside of Nvidia, sorry. Tesla's flat. Back to value area low. I mean, I can show you my book, guys. Like, I'm not. It's that one scalp. That's it. And I never sized in because we never bid above. Right. That's it. That's my day. It's okay. I'm not. I'm not expecting. I'm not expecting much today. I've made it clear in Discord. Members know. I think yesterday was actually quite a good day. We caught. What did we catch yesterday? Caught actually some follow through. We caught those saying I don't trade. We took this twice, right? We took this and this. Right, nice moves. Nice follow through moves. I don't understand. People probably just aren't willing to sit and watch the whole stream. They want instant gratification. The market will not give you instant gratification. You will become its liquidity. Can I say historically, is it wise to look for setups on the 31st of December? I mean, I can't say historically. Every 31st of December will be different. All right, still seeing absorption in this blue block. They cannot trade through it. So sellers have come in this same level again. 85s is where they're trying to sell. VIX just in a slow sideways grind. The indicators are my flow zones, mate. Flow Zone Pro. Right. Version of it comes for free when you do the 20-hour course. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. There's just nothing to show, right? Like, do you want me to show $42? I mean, I can't remember where it was. We had like one attempt. I think it was there. One attempt there, and I said I'm not going to size unless we get above. I think it was 40s at the time, so I never sized. I did say it all, but like, there's no point showing. There's nothing going on. When you show the footprint from NinjaTrader, are they available stock? NinjaTrader does actually have footprint charts called volumetric. If you're trading on prop firm or you have an account with NinjaTrader, it is available for free. I have a video on how to get that set up for order flow on YouTube. It's one of the newer videos. You can go and check that out. Teach you how to do it. All you need to go is into your prop firm Tradeify settings if you're trading with Tradeify, and click on. You basically have to put a button that is not normally set on to allow order flow, and then you will get volume and volumetric and cumulative volume delta and VWAP on your NinjaTrader chart for free. I should mention, probably didn't. We did a flash sale yesterday. It ends tonight at midnight for the 20-hour course. Are they going to really try and bid this now? Jumpy spread. For the 20-hour course, code is 2026, I believe. That ends at midnight, all right? So 20% off the 20-hour flow zone course ends at midnight. Prices go up next year, so prices go up tomorrow. Take care, Carla. Are you use VWAP trade? Do I use it? I mean, you can see it here, right? New York VWAP and VWAP. Back to value area low again. This thing's like completely asleep. Completely asleep. This is where the shorts last came in. Do they get relief? Where's that little node? 89s, 91s. Tesla's turned red to green. Google's trying to go red to green. Is the market going to find a bid? Big question mark. Maybe we do an Apex giveaway in 15 minutes. We do one in 15 minutes and then one in an hour and 15 minutes. Seeing as there's 731 of you, let's see what the likes are in. I'm going to have to get these likes up if we're going to do giveaways. All right, let's get these likes up, guys. I want 500 likes on here. We're at 214 and there's 734 of you currently watching. So let's get these up. Smash that like button. Doesn't cost you anything. And we do a couple Apex giveaways. Maybe we'll give away some courses as well. Okay, here we go. Back through value. Here's the lift up to that 90s we just talked about. The problem is, like, when I'm giving you these levels, what I'm asking myself is, do I really want to trade from 84 to 90? Do I really care about 6 points? Normally, when we're looking at these nodes, we can look for like 40 points from one side to the other. 6 points is, what shall I say? It's not turning me on. It's because the range is so tight. If you imagine a normal day where volume's good, right? If we fail to get acceptance here and we reclaim and this move here, that might be like a 40-point move, not a 6-point move, right? We can trade off stuff like that, but when there's nothing going on, I don't want to trade for 6 points. Some people love trading for 6 points. I'm sure there are other YouTubers, all they do is take, 10 ticks or whatever it is. It's just, it's not how I trade, guys. Those have been here long enough know I'm looking for good trades where I can hold runners for 50, 100, 150, 200 points on good days. We just don't have that environment at the moment. Oh yeah, email me. Is there an issue on it? Yeah, email me. There's been a few bugs and stuff recently, unfortunately. I think my dev is off as well. B-shaped profile. I mean, if you went from the top of the session, yeah, B-shaped profile. Bearish profile. I'd say within the New York session, though, most of it's being done down here at the moment. And we're not breaking away from the B, right? We've done the damage early. The damage was repricing this huge run, repricing this whole thing, and now just stuck. Yeah, probably, Lindell. I would probably agree with that. Yeah, we went over it earlier, didn't we? Was yeah, 5th you've got ISM manufacturing and auto sales. Jan 2nd there is S&P US manufacturing. I don't think many people will be playing Jan 2nd. But yeah, 5th and 6th, I still don't think like fully. We do have PMI, but I think the market will get going Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right. If you have a look at Wednesday, ADP employment, ISM services, job openings, US factory orders, all important. Thursday, jobless claims, trade deficit, US productivity, consumer credit. Friday, unemployment report, unemployment rate, hourly wages, hourly wage year over year. You've got to know hourly wage has been going down, unemployment rate has been going up for the whole of 2025. That will matter. People will care about that. And, you know, University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment 945. Not sure we will move the market with that like we used to, but I think those early reports will matter. Thursday and Friday, I think, will bring volatility into this market. Yeah, normal time close today, no market tomorrow. Do you always trade the same amount of contracts in an A++ setup, or you adjust your contracts depending on volatility? Definitely have to adjust them on volatility, right? Because your risk is going to go up. You can't be risking a fixed rate. Like if you normally risk, I don't know, 10 points and we're in a highly volatile day, if we've got VIX at high teens and 20s and we're doing 200 to 400 point rotations in NQ, which it has been doing frequently this year, you can't be risking 10 points. You're probably going to need to risk 40 or 50 points, which means you're probably going to need to size down. But I do like to size up in A+ where possible. But sometimes that size up might just mean I have to size down and I'm holding for the full rotation, right? Multiple rate cuts continues the bull run. I wouldn't be so sure. Historically, yes. Well, actually, no. In a healthy market, yes. People will say, well, it's cheaper to borrow and to go risk on. But you have to include all the other factors. Why, if we do rate cuts, if they're only predicting 1 and we end up doing 3 and there's a panic, you have to include why. Why that's a problem. They're trying to stimulate something which is not moving. How did you do this year when we just kept hitting all-time highs over and over? I seriously struggled during that. Did your system still work? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You've just got to use things like fibs for projections of where we're going to go to higher and just not fight it. You just can't be fighting all-time highs. Back to value area low again. Sleepy, sleepy market. Okay, how are we doing on the lights, guys? We got enough here to do a giveaway. We are so far short. More than half of you have not hit that like button. Let's get these likes up so we can give away some stuff. Still trading around this blue box, value area low. This is the high volume node, remember, dating back to Sunday and Monday, the 15th of December. That's where we're finding a bid. Yeah, ES is coming down to its 20-day new lows, but I don't think that means it's not necessarily a sign for a long. Okay, it just means that the breadth on ES, and you've got some other sectors getting hit. That's all it means, right? So if you have a look at the market as a whole right now, it doesn't look very good. Look. Right, so why is Q's holding up? It's just Nvidia, right? Nvidia and Google and Tesla have a heavier weight, and AMD and INTC have a heavier weight in the Qs. So if you look broader sector, finances and healthcare and real estate and energy, all right, all going down, means that ES is going to be heavier. It doesn't mean it's an automatic long in Q. Whoever just said that, it's this whole SMT bollocks. It's just divergence. You've got to understand the breadth and why. This is a 1 minute right now that you're looking at. This is a 1 minute. 5 minute is here. Yeah, we're just still. Just flat. All right, what are we up to? We need 21 more likes. We'll give away some Apex accounts. Be quite funny if we close the year at a 0 standard deviation on the 20-day. Just giving them absolutely no edge coming into the new year. Eight more, almost there. I'll get this set up, assuming you guys are going to do it. 6 more likes, almost there. Okay. So just type FCT once in chat. Please don't spam. If you spam it, you will be banned from the competition. So just type it once in chat and I'll give away a free Apex account at random. FZT, FZT, Flow Zone Trader, FZT. The code you can use right now to get 90% off Apex. And the code you can use on most of the prop firms. Right, while this is happening, it's starting to melt now, finally. I might just go and try and get a coffee here while you guys enter. And when I come back, we will pull the winner, all right? All right, can we pull this winner? It's so funny that 100 people go missing because they suddenly realise I'm not going to give them a call out directly for them. So funny. What a weird place YouTube is. All right. Winner is Rafael Garcia 1819. Are you here, Rafael Garcia? Let me know you're here, Raf, so we can give this away. There we go. Beautiful, man. Just shoot me an email, okay, dude? Just with your screenshot of you logged in. info@flowzonetrader.com. I'll sort you out an Apex account. We will do another giveaway in about an hour or so. If I've got the will to stay online watching this. Okay, Globex now swept. Reaction after sweeping Globex, finally. We're just back into some imbalances here. Have they finished this auction? Not convinced. ES to 20-day. QQQ. Is that your 50-day? What are you? You are. Okay, ES to 50-day. ES, sorry, QQQ. Where are we at on the daily here? Well beneath it. Is that adjusted? Hang on. Okay. What is the purple circle with a red dot on your chart? I don't have a clue what you're looking at. Can't see a purple circle there. Oh, this. I got you. It's nonsense. It's 2 days old. Very, very quiet. Bears did take control. They defended well, though. But they probably hit their main target here into Globex. The only thing left for them to trade into is this. This is the old value area low. Remember, this dates back from, I keep going over it over and over again, into 520. That is the value area high, sorry, from 15th, the week of 15th of December. We've swept Globex. We're back to initial balance now. If we start trading back inside of initial balance, we go back into a rotation. It would be a look below and fail. If we hold initial balance, there is the chance of a trend. We cannot rule out a trend. There is the chance of a trend if we go, if we keep rejecting IB and value on the day. On TradingView, the lows haven't been broken yet, as you can see on the top set platform. Yes, they have. The orange line is the lows. They have absolutely been broken. Absolutely have. You can quite clearly see they have. So I'm not sure if you have delayed data there, my friend. You might, if you're not paying for TradingView or something, you might be 10 minutes behind or something like that. Apex or Lucid, which one? Really depends what your ambitions are. I'd say Lucid probably has the best, is the most trader-friendly platform right now to use in terms of passing, in terms of payouts, in terms of growth. Apex is probably better for scaling if you know what you're doing. I've got a video on it. So if you're just like brand new to trading and you just want to like get used to some software and trying it, I would say if you're not going to trade on Sim, then do Apex because it's only going to cost you $20. If you're half decent at trading and you're starting to like find your footings and you want to grow and you don't want to deal with trading drawdown and these stuff, I'd say look at Lucid, look at Funded Next, look at Tradeify. MNQ. Is your MNQ different? Maybe you've got a divergence there. No, MNQ is also taken the lows. So I'm not sure, my friend, what you're looking at, but they've both taken them out. Okay, so this is the area now. Trend versus non-trend will be defined right here. All right, trend versus non-trend will be defined right here. So it's an area of interest. How much is it to activate Apex? At the moment in the sale, it's $60. Yes, I think someone can tell me if I've got this wrong. I think it's 25, 50K, and 150K are about $20 per eval, and then to activate it, it's about 60. So all in, it's about $80. I think that's right. Or is it $40? I think that's right. I think that's right. The funding ticks rule changes messed me up. Same with me, mate. They stole a fuck ton of my money and didn't reply to me. And I will no longer. Oh, I almost spilled my coffee. I will no longer participate in them. I think their response to everything has been nothing short of a joke. So no more trading with them. And I lost accounts because I didn't trade with them over Christmas, over that 5-day rule. So yeah, funding ticks are dead in the water, unfortunately. And it's very sad because I'd taken some nice payouts from them for the last few months. I don't trade with my funded futures. Got nothing against them. Never traded with them. Never traded with them. You've got my 5 picks are those ones that I posted last week. Apex, Take Profit Trader, Lucid. For me, those are the top 3. They could be in any order that you want, depending how you trade. And then it's followed by Funded Next and Tradeify. Those are the 6 for me. All right, back to this IB, folks. There was a seller at 67. There's an imbalance up to 71. And we will reclaim at 77s. All right, so I'd be watching 67s and 77s to see if they reject or they reclaim and hold. Yes, right at its 20-day. And the Qs, QQQ has found a bid at its 50-day right now. I don't trade with Bullnox. Like some of the guys in my team trade with Bullnox. I don't trade with them. I'm just trading with those 5. I think that's enough for me. But, you know, you can go to the site. You can use FCT. I don't trade with TopStep. I do not trade with anyone who will not provide Tradeivate and NinjaTrader. Very simple. So, yeah. Don't like TopStep. I think their offering is good in terms of payouts and stuff, but I think their business practices are not very good. Let's just be polite. Not very good. I think they can fuck you guys over very, very quickly by owning the software, as you would have probably experienced the last few months. Best account for Lucid, Flex account. Is it called a Flex account? I think it's called a Flex account. In my opinion. Let me have a look. It's amazing value for money. Still rejecting this blue box and this IB. So this is, we can kind of, let's get rid of this. Redo this for you guys. There's my delete button. There you are. All right, this is the kind of level right here that bears are trying to defend. That's your under over for sentiment for the rest of the day right now. Yes, I think the Lucid Flex account, probably the 50k, honestly. 50k, $78, one-time fee, no monthly renewals, max loss limit 2,000, which is not the best, but there you go. Profit target 3,000. Free. They've moved it to 50% consistency, so you can pass it in 2 days now. Use up to 4 minis or 40 micros. No consistency when funded. That's probably the one to go for, in my mind. So here we go. We're going to test this IB. Let's see if we can get acceptance. There is a little imbalance, like I talked about, up to 71, and I'd be watching this area here. Right, it's very simple. If bears are to produce a trend day, right, then they will want to reject this with like a 2-leg and something like this. If they're unable to do this, if this is a look below and a sweep, we will go straight back in and we will try and attack up here. If we find acceptance through here, we will try and attack up here. Those are the two options. There's always two options on the table. I'm more willing to play the long if they're going to find a bid. At the moment, I'm not too bothered about doing anything. What happened to funding ticks? My guess is that it was too easy to get payouts from. They probably had some liquidity issues. So they retrospectively changed the rules and denied a lot of people payouts, unfortunately, and then removed capital from people's accounts based on the new rule changes which they brought in. And then just acted, I would say the CEO acted like, well, a bit of a dick, to be quite honest. He didn't reply to people like me who were saying, this is, you need to look at this isn't good. And his response was, well, arrogant and wrong, and they will lose business because of it. It is as simple as that. They have absolutely shafted themselves because people have lost respect for them. It can take years to build up trust. It only takes a moment to get rid of trust, right? So I think that's probably what happened. Which profile am I using, session or fixed? This one right here is actually anchored, but it's basically session to the 9:30 open. So they're still finding some dips here so far. There's some passive buying here, but like I said all day, the volume is very light, very, very light. Would the flow zone indicator signals be different if you choose regular trading hours versus electronic hours? Yeah, it would. It would slightly differ for sure, because it can only move based on the candle structure you give it. 4 hours of massive head and shoulders. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that yesterday. It is, and they've broken down. The problem is where you're breaking down into, right? So if we start losing bids under 520s, then we are going to go to 330s, right? But if we do not lose that, right, we can still keep bidding up and down in this range. You've got to ask yourself, like, is this market really willing to do a 300-point sell on the last day of the year? I'm not convinced it is. We've been over this numerous times now. Right, if you are the person looking for this move here, which is fine, leaving this volume, retest stayed heavy. The question is really, are you going to trade inside this? Right, so you need to see this move here. That's when I become very interested. I wouldn't be selling under this. I think that's dangerous. Right now, we're just seeing not much happening at all. Very slow. Back to IB again. Next 2 to 3 days, maybe. It would be nice. Lorne, I think I've said it right. It'd be nice. I'm here for it. I'm here for that fade back into the old value. I'm here for if they want to hold a bid down there. I'm here for that as well. If they don't want to hold the bid and we go full panic mode, I'm fucking here for that as well. I will absolutely slam SQQQ for a few months and let this market do whatever it is it wants to do. I'm willing to, honestly, I'm willing to trade both sides at the moment. You have to be willing to trade both sides at the moment. Does the macro environment look good? No. Can we still drift higher? Yeah, if it wants to, it can. So that's why I try not to be too biased until we clearly make some decisions, right? If we're clearly going to go into a major sell and leave major divergence where RTY and ES takes highs and NQ doesn't, and we start to sell tech and the panic starts to come in, obviously I'm going to sit bearish. I'm not going to be looking for dips. But, you know, let's deal with that next year if and when it happens. What rule changes did funding ticks make? They made rule changes to the amount of money you need to make each day to qualify for a payout. They made a rule change onto how long you have to hold trades for. I'm trying to think what else. There were some other bits as well. Still can't get through this low volume node, this grey box. Right, so still can't get through the grey box. We're building volume here now. Is there any players underneath? 525. That's in this box. Anyone under that? 505s. Divergence between SPY and QQQ. All it is on sector. That's all you really need to think about. You just got to understand SPY is 500 stocks. Qs are 100 stocks. Qs heavily weighted in tech and very heavy weighted into the mag. Right. So if you have a day where breadth is good, for example, bank sector's doing well, healthcare's doing well, energy's doing well, but maybe we're having a sell-off day in something like Nvidia and the chip names and AVGO and, you know, et cetera, that's when you see relative weakness. If you're looking at divergence, you want to play, technically speaking, you want to be long on relative strength and you want to be short on relative weakness. Sometimes you have a catch-up trade where sectors are rotating. All right, so they might sell one sector to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Okay, let's just focus on here now because there might be a trigger coming here in a minute. Right into that imbalance we just talked about at 70s. Would like one trade here today if possible. So they just faded the grey box we talked about. So this is where sellers trying to defend, buyers want to get through and above. Back to this same level again. Can we find acceptance back inside, or are they going to shove this back lower? You missed the first giveaway. We're going to do some more. Okay, I'm starting to perk my interest here. Seeing some bullish action come in into value area low. If we're going to find acceptance and drive up, all right, if we're going to find acceptance back into value and pivot, there is a chance for us to get back into 607, 615. Sellers took control at 17s and 25s as well. So there is a chance. So it sounds like a massive move, but it's about 30 to 40 points. It's all it is. But you're saying there's a chance. There is a chance if we get over the grey box and base, yes, because we're going to go, this will be a look below and fail back into IB. But this can still be defended. So I'm going to try and give this a little bit of time, see if we can do either this or this. I would consider this. If we look above and fail and come back down, I will consider the fade. It's not ideal, but I'll consider it. The 1 minute rule is the rule that got me. I'm a scalper in NQ. 1 minute is so long. I think what's fucked up about it is like if you've timed your entry well, right, and the market moves 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 points in 1 minute away from where you are, and you just want to pay yourself even a little smidgen of money and move your stop break even, they're going to take that away from you. I think that's fucking bullshit. I get it. Like, maybe they should say don't close your full position or stuff if they want to really bring something in that helps traders. But, like, I don't know. Clearly, traders were making too much money trading within a 1 minute period. Otherwise, they wouldn't have bought that in. What is the grey box indicator? Is it an EMA? The grey box indicator is just a grey box that I've drawn in. This grey box is a low volume node that I've put in because I know this is where we broke structure to the downside. This is where sellers are trying to defend. That's your IB, value area low, and low volume node. This is where sellers will try and defend. This is where buyers will try and pivot back above. This is like the battleground zone. Underneath it is an EMA. Those clouds, those are EMAs. So any box you see put on the screen is not an indicator. It's something that I am putting there. It's a level of interest for me. This is a level of interest for me. This is a level of interest for me. This down here is a level of interest for me for demand. This is a level of interest for me. And then above, there's probably some red boxes somewhere. All right, these are level of interest of supply. The way I like to trade is to let, ideally not on days like today, which has been awful, is to let price come into a level of interest. And if I'm looking to buy in a blue box, I want to see aggressive sellers get caught offside, right? That's kind of what I want to see. Starting to look good here. Can we see some aggression to get involved in? This is better. Hello. Hello. Here's value area low. All right. What I'm watching here is 84s. Right, that's where big selling came in, is into 84s and 85s. So if we can drive up there, if we get through that, then I know we're going to leave sellers trapped. Some selling coming into 70s. We want to see it lift to 84. Like every 4 or 5 points feels very hard to get at the moment. Right into value area low here. We want to get back into 84s, and really we want to get back above 88s and 90s. Here we go. Can you lift to 84s? Here we come. He doesn't tell me what he's looking for. Patience is a virtue. Can we get through the 84s? You can see this right in front of 84s, right? I can tell you right now, there was a seller this morning at 84s. I can see he had big size there. So I'm looking to see if we can get above him, because if that's his average price, he might want to stop out. If we can't get above him, then he remains in control, all right? So this is how I'm looking at levels and what I'm thinking. There's not much size on the book. So if we get above 84, is there a potential squeeze? Yes, to 600 and to 607 if we can get above 84. So I'm already long, peeling some off into 84 in case we reject, right? I'm trying to be proactive because I don't know. And really you want to see now 75s down to 70s hold. Here we go. Testing 84. You can see how accurate the 84 is, right? Look at 84, right? 84. This is why I'm peeling some off into 84, because I know this is where a big seller came in. They're going to have to hold these dips into 75 to 70s. If they don't, I will just stop out on the rest, and that's fine. I do not want a failed look inside. Remember, we talked about the opportunities here are going to be this move here or this move here if they have unfinished business. All right, I'm willing to play both. I am willing to play both. Right now, I'm trying to get long for this move here. I've already peeled some off. I'm not going to reload unless it really proves to me. I will just stop out on the rest, and that's fine. Because we are in a very, very low volume. What I do not want to do, right, is just be like, oh, I'm going to risk down here, and for some reason some big seller comes in and goes, fuck you, in one candle, because this might look big, but it's actually tiny. It's only 20 points and it wouldn't take a lot. If we can build here, we look good. What platform am I using? I'm trading on Ninja. What you're looking at is TradingView. What I'm trading on is Ninja. It's over here. All right. You see this player here, 84? Can you guys see that on the book? I might have to move it up a bit. I need my other hand for the mouse. All right. This, where's it gone? I need that. I need that to show you. All right. This guy here is a big seller. All right. This is the delta that I can see at this price. This is why I knew we'd probably come up and test him. He's still clearly there. All right. He's present and he's passive, because this is aggressive market order buying and this is passive selling into this level with an imbalance. So I know there's still a seller there. Once we get above that, I know that this seller is out the money and everyone below him is out the money, and then we can think about a squeeze, right? So I'm trying to use their pain. I'm positioned in case we do it, but I don't expect us to have to do it. That's the difference. Hopefully that makes sense. But definitely those of you who have traded with me a long time and have been around long enough will know how I trade. I trade people's pain. But this is a see money, take money environment right now. At 25,608, there were a lot of buyers that were offside and got trapped on my delta. Would you be looking to scale out there also? What level did you say, my friend? 25,608. 608. I mean, yeah. I mean, look, that's the grey box, right? Point control, right here. That's it. That's exactly it. So we want to try and get, what we're trying to do is get from here to here. And yes, I absolutely would scale some out there. And if we find a trade through here, then we're going to go and test current day's value area high, which is previous week's value area low, right? So all it takes is some patience. I would say to you, if you haven't peeled any off, I would peel some off into here, just in case, even if it's 10, 20%. What indicator is that? Well, the one on Ninja Trader, it's called Cidi. But you can just do it on here, guys. You can just, it's the same level on here, right? You would just need to look for where you had big delta caught here, and then you use spikes in volume profile. Can you see this spike? This guy right here, this node, this is a high volume node. All right, it's the same level. All right, so that's when you put Confluence together. They're going to go for it again here. They're trying. They are desperately trying. Lift it, lift it, lift it, lift it. Come on, someone turn up. ES is banging into Globex lows and initial balance as well. So we want ES to follow what NQ is doing, right? We want ES to get back through IB. So if you think about what we're doing right now, we're long in relative strength based on where we're positioned to IB. So still passive seller up here. And let's check CVD. Was it JD that wanted to go over this? This could be a good time to do it. CVD is actually in total alignment right now, so we're not seeing in this part any hidden divergence or anything like that. But we will go. I'll go over it with you, my friend. Here we go. 84s, right? Let's see if we can get through this little imbalance above and see if we can start a squeeze. Where's that little fuckwit saying I don't tell you what to do or anything? Get the fuck out of here, goons. I'd like to see another trader give you precise levels like 84 exactly. We want a base above this node now. We do not want to pop and fail. We need a base above. We want the flow zones to start supporting. It might be that we need to build out some liquidity because this is a little bit naughty how they've developed it. If we're very lucky, they will just do a straight squeeze here and run all these stops, which will be fun. But it might be that they need to offer something like this. But let's see. Hopefully we get going. Be right back. And my wife just woke up. wife was out on a boozy one last night. Still off work. Lucky woman. Is gold following Nasdaq? I don't know. I've not looked. Look. No. That's definitely not following Nasdaq. That's definitely your imagination. I don't see that. Looking the same. Oh, I don't know. I see what you mean. Morning drive, get stuck, fade. It's different. It's different. It's holding a different pivot. It's holding a different pivot. It's just this part. Morning drive, fade, try and hold the pivot. I get what you're saying, but I don't think it's particularly following. All right, so maybe some relief. Can we get some more relief? Let's just check. Little fib here from the high to the low. So we want to be careful as we come into 30. Where is the New York Open? Let's double check that as well. Yeah, we want to be a little careful here. Make sure you've paid yourself some money here, just in case, into this area. Remember, I think this is a see money, take money kind of environment right now. Pay yourself, pay yourself, pay yourself. No worries, man. No worries. All right, we're going to do another 15 to 30 minutes. We'll give away some more Apex accounts. I'll give away one of the introduction to the market courses as well. Hi, first time for me here seeing that me, the person with different way of looking at the charts. I can see that we have, let's say, some same bias for the move, I think you're saying. So you look at the charts differently, but you're seeing the same bias right now. That's good. Like I said, I will never talk shit about someone else's trading methods. There are a million ways to trade the markets. You need to trade whatever suits you, whatever setup suits you, whatever way of looking at the chart suits you. Never stop learning. I never stop learning. You never stop learning when you're a trader. And the moment you stop learning and you think you know it all, the market will humble you. Okay, into this next node here. And the only thing left right now is to get into this pocket up here. All right, so I would say there were some sellers at 96s. The next one that stands out to me is 600, 601. And then we're going to go VPOC 607. And I will just say you are welcome. All right. You are welcome. We absolutely called this well ahead of time. When we were down here, I was telling you what I would look at if we get back above the grey box, if we hold the grey box, we will look for expansion. All right. Very, very simple, but it required a huge amount of patience. And that there is trading. Very, very simple, huge amount of patience. All right. If you make it too complicated, it's going to be too hard. If you don't have patience, you're going to lose. Really nice. Make sure you are locking yourself in. This is so thin. If you're looking at Bookmap with me, it is incredibly thin right now. So just be careful. See money, take money. If I'm saying see money, take money, it's trying to encourage you to pay yourselves, not to be too aggressive, not to look for too much. I would ideally this pullback hold sort of 84, 85. So I don't want it to flush back down to value area low. So I'm looking for this to hold 84, 85. That same level where we talked about those big sellers, right? The 84, 85, this same level here, it's now POC. Right now, it needs to hold this for me to feel good about, comfortable at holding, because this was the shorts pain where they came down. If we trade above, they need to hold this. If they don't hold this, I'm not going to sit through this wash. All right, I can always re-add down here as a new position. I want to see them hold this. No, not holding it. All right. So we'll wait. For me personally, I'll wait for a reload now. You made 265 times 4. See money, take money. I'm done. Hey, dude, look at that. Big payout yesterday. You've just locked in another $1,000. Are we talking about the same guy when we were having one-on-ones, mate? Look at you, absolutely killing it. That's what I'm talking about. That's the difference between knowing your setup. What's your setup? You know your setup. Tyson knows his setup. IB reclaim, back to view up. Pay yourself on the way. Fucking love it. One setup. That's all that Tyson trades. This setup here or a fade underneath. Very, 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 very simple. Stick to what you do well. Like I always talk about, having the 8 iron when you're a beginner at golf. Get around the course with an 8 iron. Leave the driver in the bag, all right? Don't get the driver out. You get the driver out, you're going to put it in the pond. You're going to, I don't know, maybe put it in a bunker. Maybe you get so pissed off, you smash the driver, all right? Imagine that driver is your trading screen. That's what happens when you're oversized, when you take setups which are not in your wheelhouse, let's say. Am I one and done? At the moment, I'm done with it. I will happily reload, like I talked about. If I see, right, aggressive selling coming in here and no acceptance, if I see passive buyers holding price here and absorbing, I'm willing to take this. What I'm aware of is that we can do a look above, we can fail, we do have weakness on the ES. So I'm just aware of it. If I see passive buying, holding price, like right now, we just had aggressive selling step in underneath 79 and 80. So if we can't move under that, I'm going to know that they're going to start to get stuck. But, you know, we've got about 30 minutes left. And I think, you know, we didn't get much, but there wasn't much to get. So we got basically the reclaim. That's what we fought over today, like 25, 30 points. That's all we've got to play with at the moment. Can we hold above this low volume node? If the answer is no, it's going to be a problem. We can wash right back down. Like I said, there isn't much volume. I want you to understand, guys, when I'm looking at this, right, I'm not seeing a huge amount of bid support here, all right? If we look at the amount of support here, we're looking at 9 lots, 16 lots, all right? I'm not seeing good bid support. I can see someone soaking because we've got a 64 lot on the sell. I might have to move this over you. You can see that this area here, they are trying to absorb into these 77s, but I'm not seeing like us walk up. And what I want to see is all of this disappear. I don't want any bids underneath. I want to see them walk price up like they're trying to do now. Or I want them to start moving their limits up and up and up and up. And I want to see these start to lift and disappear or get run over, which we are arguably have a shot of doing. But what I don't want to see is these big gaps when they're just removing themselves, right? Because it's not going to take a lot to sell through. This is what I mean when I'm saying I'm watching the tape. Right? When people say I'm tape reading and they're looking at a candle, just tell them to fuck off, right? They're just conning you. That is not tape reading. The word tape reading actually comes from not even looking at Bookmap. It will come from looking at time and sales. That's tape reading. Can I tape read? Fuck no. I cannot read the time and sales. If you give me a time and sales, I can see when it's flashing red and see when it's flashing green. But I wouldn't be able to tell you like a big order that went through unless I have some kind of filter on it. Very hard, especially in a market like NQ, to read the tape that quickly, which is why I use Bookmap, because it leaves the orders on there for me to see, historical orders. What time frame do I use for what do you mean random channel? I start on a daily, right? We go from weekly to daily to, for me, I normally skip 4 hour because I can see it on an hourly bar, right? To hourly, to 5 to 1. And when I'm looking at the tape, there is no time frame. I'm just looking at where orders are placed. Hi Alex, do you compress the delta profile by like 4 ticks? Two ticks, mate. 2 ticks for me. That's it. When they used to literally print trades, that's it. That's the time and sales. It's like the receipt being printed. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Now we have a digital time and sales. Yeah, it's in the course technique, but I'll tell you now, I don't have any. There's no magic settings. Thank you. Yeah, that's all right. That's the fresh one. Thank you. I don't have any magic settings, right? All I'm looking at is standard Bookmap. The more important thing for Bookmap for me is the level 2, where I want to look at the volume profile delta. By the way, what can you say about the concepts of understanding the market in the way that ICT teaches? Look, the way ICT teaches is good. There's no way of like, I'm not going to deny his teachings are not bad. You have to understand that most of them come from Wyckoff. All right, the theory, like the algorithm, If you understand him saying that one algo controls the market, that is the same as Wyckoff saying one man controls the market. It's the way of viewing the market. It's how I view the market. I don't actually believe a single algorithm controls the market. What actually controls the market are institutions and volume. That's what controls the market. Real buyers, real sellers. The idea of fair value gap is just an imbalance. It's an aggressive engulfing candle that moves away from an area and leaves a gap in price. Can you actually see the gap in price? Well, I can tell you now, this gap here, well, I'd much rather look to see if there's actually a genuine imbalance. And look where the imbalance is. It's actually up at 90 to 94. If we come over to here, what's it showing? 90 to 94. So the imbalance is actually higher, not where you would see it on a fair value gap. So the teachings are good, but they're not necessarily accurate, right? That's the best way of putting it. Well, I would actually say the imbalance is actually 90 to 92. Teachings are good, but lots of it is made overly complicated. Order block, I'd call that flip block. What is it? It's SNR. Resistance becomes support, support becomes resistance. That's all it is. How many rows do you use in your anchored session volume? Yeah, you can use 1,000, or I've actually got it set to ticks, right? So I have it ticks per row set to 2, but if not, I would have numbers of rows and I'd have it set to 1,000. Okay, so have it set to 1,000. So you can see we came right up to the top of that imbalance, all right, right up to 90, not into this low part, right up into 90, and the imbalance goes to 91.75. Right, so this is a prime example. No, right now you're looking at a 1 minute chart. Auction market theory, yeah, correct. You're probably right there. W, if I said it right, W trades, I like that. Dub City. You're probably right. All right, how many likes we got? I want to give away some more stuff. You guys have been fantastic this year. The growth on YouTube has been immense, especially in the last month or two. And I love trading with you. It's very rare we get idiots in here. Most of the time you guys are here to learn, here to make money, and that's all I care about. I don't really care about me. What I actually care about is you guys learning and making money. And we have a pretty good track record on stream. I don't think I've had too many red days this year. There's definitely been some, obviously, but there hasn't been too many. And the ones that have happened where it's been big red are the ones that stand out in mind is when I had Ninja Trader fail on me and start reversing my positions, which was deeply upsetting, but I battled out of it over a 2-week period, which is good. Right, let's try and get 50 more likes, guys. Let's try and get up to 500 likes. Did I receive your email? Let's have a look. I see it, Raf. As soon as I get off stream, I will reply to you. Same with Nathan and same with Caden. All right, can see them as soon as I finish stream. I'll get back to you. All right, so grey box still holding. We're trying to hold POC. So buyers right now are trying to do this move. They're trying to defend this and do this and complete rotation. And if they get through this, they get lucky. What do sellers want? They want to print under here and use this to trap buyers to move lower. That's the battle right now that you're seeing emerging. All right, I'm flat and out of this right now. All right, we traded from like here to here. I tried to hold the runner to see if it wanted to keep going. It didn't want to hold. What I wanted to hold was right here. All right, didn't see it. Didn't see too much participation being aggressive. You might see another attempt, but at the moment, I'm happy to chill. Almost there, guys. 30 more likes, and we'll give away some fun stuff. What's silver doing today? I haven't actually looked at it. Where's the volatility in the market? 8%. Oh, failed follow through day coming up then, is it? This is what we talked about, right? Anyone that's been here the last few days. Peak top, failing to follow through, inside bar. Right, what matters now is this. This will set the tone. If this happens, right, we could look for a trade from here down to 50%. If we get lucky, right back into this pocket. And then normally what happens on golds and silver and copper is this. Consolidation can happen over months. So in here, we might well do this and have a reattempt later into March. Really depends how much this news from China is priced in. We will see how much we continue to decimate the dollar. Let's have a look at that. It's trying to recover. It is trying to recover a bit. You can see where I was changing money over. This is where I was pulling money out of USD and transferring back to Great British Pound. Not now. I'm gonna be fucking broke if I keep getting paid in dollars. At least most of America doesn't leave the country, eh? You're not gonna understand the weakness of it elsewhere. You didn't realize I got long? Really? I thought I made it pretty clear. What is the consistency rule in Lucid Flex? To pass the account, it's 50%. Once you are passed and into the past the evaluation stage, there is no consistency rule. Do I think we rotate to opening high? I might be asking a lot. Right now, I'd be watching this to this. All right, just play level to level. All right, if we come here to here, that's your first rotation. If we get acceptance above here, this is your second rotation. If we get acceptance above previous week value area high, then we're thin up to here. All right, but I wouldn't be positioning myself long with the expectation of getting there. Okay, don't do that on a day like today. We're not trend up. All right, we're not trend up. How important is it for me to incorporate level 2 data? I'd say it's where my edge comes from. I don't think you have to do it. Do I think you can build strategy without it? Yeah. I feel much more confident knowing who's trapped in a market, and you're not always going to get that data out of candles. So, but you can incorporate other things. Carlisle, does my course go over the indicators and how to use them? Yes. We don't do one-on-ones, but in Discord we do. Like, I'm trying to do it bi-weekly at the moment, where we have like 1 to 2 hour lessons, and everyone joins in, and we front load any questions, and then we do them. Everyone can be welcome to talk up, and I try and teach. So if anyone has questions that day, or on a setup that day, or something they've missed, or how to use something, we go over it, right? And it's not extra money. It's a one-time fee. We don't do monthly fees, not at the moment for anything. How many days do you have to trade for Lucid? 2 days to pass, I think, and I think 5 days for a payout, I think. What provider do I use for level 2? CME, direct. I just pay for it on Bookmap. Same on TradingView, I just pay for it. You don't need to do that. You can probably find a good deal, but I just pay for it all, so I know it's working properly. All right, let's do a giveaway. I want to give away some stuff for you. Let's do another Apex account giveaway. Let me just set this up. Remember, you've got until, I think it's until the 6th for Apex for the 90% sale. So code FCT, just type it in chat once, please. Just type it once. I'll give you guys a couple minutes. How many indicators do I use? I mean, this is like an all-in-one tool. So really, this is all I'm looking at, and volume. I don't necessarily need this, but it just, for me, this keeps me the right side of the trade. Like, if we're in a trend, I want to fade it. Like, you can argue today, like, should I have just listened to my indicator? I mean, it gave me a sell signal. We rejected point of control. We rejected this. Should I have just faded the opening drive? Well, the answer is clearly yes. I didn't feel comfortable putting size on in a low volume market on the opening drive today, but we talked about, what did we talk about having to hold? If it didn't hold 680s, we were going to rotate to 630s, and if we didn't hold that, we were going to rotate to 520s, and we did all of them. 1, 2, I mean, we've just missed this. So maybe ignoring it was foolish of me today. But there we go. I'd rather ignore it and be flat than at least I didn't fight it the other way. Give you guys a minute more to do it. Guys, if you keep spamming, all that happens is you get pulled out of it, right? So over on the giveaway where it's recording you, it pulls you out for spamming it. So please don't type it more than once, because all you're doing is hurting your own chances of winning. What's the Discord? Discord is only available if you do the 20-hour course. It's just for students. It's not free. Unfortunately for you guys, it's not free, but there is no monthly fee. All right, so it's a one-time fee. But the reason we do that is so that everyone's trading the same way. It means that we have a good community who can look after each other. I'll give you guys 30 more seconds. Sorry, just replying to sister here. Okay, let's draw this winner. I don't know how to say that. Machael 15. Machael 15. Machael 15. Are you here, Machael? I'll give you a little bit longer to reply, otherwise we'll do a re-roll. So make sure you let me know you're here. They're trying to squeeze this at the moment, watching the book. They're trying to get back over the POC. 10 more seconds, Machael. You need to let me know that you're here. Machael 15. There! Thank goodness for that. I hate re-rolling. There he is. Or they are, sorry. Don't know. So what I would like you to do is email me, okay, info@flowzonetrader.com. Okay, info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot, please, of you logged in to your YouTube. I've made a note of your name. I need to see you logged in with that name so I know it's you, and I will give you a free Apex account of any size. All right, what are you guys saying? What's the buy and sell indicator? Okay, for the last time today, guys, the indicator you're seeing here is the Flowzone System Pro. All right, you can buy it on my website, or you get a version of it for free with the course. All right, I'd advise just do the course and upgrade if you like it. Get through these. How much is the course? Right now it's 520 and that sale ends at midnight. Okay, so if you go to flowzonetrader.com, the last time I'm going to go through this, guys. All right, if you go to flowzonetrader.com, come to this course here, buy now, and if you type in 2026 and hit apply, you will get a discount from 649 to 519. All right, prices are going up tomorrow, so this is the last chance you've got to get it on sale, and last chance to get it at 649 or 519 till midnight. If you want to do the order flow course, all right, this does not come with Discord. You can use code launch. Again, this ends at midnight, and you'll get $100 off. You can get this for $299. All right, so this is 6 hours plus. I would advise you do the beginner to advanced course first, especially if you're a newer trader. This is a 20-hour course. It comes with a version of the indicator, and it comes with Discord. All right, so if you're looking to join the community, start there. Do I still blow funded accounts? Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. It still happens. It's been a while, but yes. Yes, it does happen, especially if I'm trying to be more aggressive with them. It doesn't happen if I'm taking my time and building them, but sometimes if I get an account, I'm like, right, I'm going to try this method with this. I'm going to be more aggressive. I'm going to trade this session. I don't necessarily put them all together. But when I take my time, no, it doesn't happen. Yeah, we're working on it. Actually, Noah, Adam, or Bowden, as you might know him, is working on it for me at the moment. Yeah, you could see I was saying, look, they're trying to force the squeeze through POC. They did the squeeze. We're back to this same level, though. Remember this level? 94s, I think I said it was. Right, back to this same level. Nothing's changed. It's the same level where we just squeezed back to. We're trying to find acceptance over it. So now they're going to try and produce a high low and complete this squeeze up into this grey box. That's what they are attempting to do. Attempting to do. Do I use a trade copier? Yes. Affordable indicators trade copier, folks. So it's best to start with the trading course. Yeah, the 20, I would say start with the 20-hour course. All right, it's 20 hours, and then you'll get Discord for free, and you'll get a version of the flow zones for free as well. All right, if you want to upgrade later, we can sort that out after. Starting to see a squeeze attempt above point of control here. Remember, they're trying to get up to 600, 604. All right, this is where they're trying to get up to at the moment. So those of you who are still long, that's where you're trying to get up to 600, 604, and this kind of level here, 602. So you want to get through this node, through the low volume node, up into 602. So if you're still long from this gray box, this is what you're looking for. This is the higher low now being set. All right, so they did 1, 2. This is the failed attempt to move lower. We should come up into here, and if you get lucky, you get this. So if you are long, you want to be trimming some into this and hoping you complete the move. There is absolutely no guarantee in this market that you will get up into here, so you will pay yourself into this move. All right, maybe if I wasn't doing the giveaway, I should have been a little bit more focused in here to grab some of this. It's probably going to work quite nicely. Any tips on auction theory? It's all in the order flow and volume course. That's my tip on auction theory. And if you want to watch a free video, I'd say start with my video on Wyckoff. It's a bearish B-shaped profile today. Would you agree? Like I said, this part of it is, but what I would say is context. All right. Yes, I would say that's B. The problem that you're going to have is this part of the move happened very early. Most of this, if you ignore the opening, how many minutes is this? If you ignore the opening 3 minutes, 4 minutes, what are we actually in? More of a D. All right, more of a D shape. So the question for me would be, do they respect this or not? This is what I'm saying. Pay yourself into this, and you just fucking don't know because we're such low volume. I would agree with you that we have reacted, all right, from previous week and previous day, right? We've left previous day, we've left current week, we reacted and came down, but we're finding a bid where, if we just zoom out here, we go to like a 30-minute. in front of this old balance, right? And this big old fat node. Old range, old range, old range. This is why I'm saying I don't want to be uber biased, because if we do this, I will be biased for this move, right? Because I know we will want to reprice that. This is your old naked POC. That's when I'll start thinking, okay, we can break down. All right. And once we get down here, this is what I'll be looking for early next year or this year. If we want to do this, that's fine. If we do something like this, right, then I'll bid back up. All right. If we fail this, then I'll play the continuation back down into here and here. All right, I don't want to be uber biased at this point of the range, because we think about swing low, swing high. It can still be pullback for a continuation. I know everyone's looking for this, but until we really show acceptance into this range, I want to be cautious. Here we go. So you're lifting. You look really good. So anyone who took that, you look fantastic here. So it's the 603, 604s, I think I said. 608s is the next level. And I would be trimming a good chunk of your position. If you took the long out the grey box we talked about, pulling back into and holding, or if you took this break here for the higher low creation, right, trim into here, hold your runners. You never know, you might get lucky. You don't know. But I would be trimming a good chunk of my change. So you got from 550. Oh, nice, man. So you took the false break of Globex. So I'm assuming you took the break. You didn't buy there. Hopefully you bought the break back above. That's really nice. I mean, that is a fantastic trade. We expect some sort of resistance up here. ES also into VWAP here, and VIX also into a demand block down here. All right, so we expect here I'd be trimming a good chunk. All right, trim. Do not be greedy. If you got this, or some of you got that, it's fantastic. Right, trim. You never know. You might get lucky on your runner. You'd never know. It's last day of the year. Right, let's give away the introduction course. Right, this is just a 2-hour long course. It's not any of the full courses, but I want to give one away. What's the coupon code for the order flow course? Coupon code is launch, all in capitals. It's 6 hours, and I'm still adding stuff to it. 6 hours long. Would I take a sell back down here? Not for me, but I don't like trading range rotation, right? So technically speaking, let me just check on Ninja. Technically speaking, the edge of range, right? If I was going to look to sell range, I'd need it to be up here, not here. I know there's a node there, but the momentum, where have we trapped? Right, we've trapped sellers here. Low hanging fruit's gone. Maybe there's a sell down to here, but I would be somewhat skeptical. Like I said, it's very thin. It would actually not take very much. Imagine they run this group of stops. If they don't protect it, it wouldn't take very much to do that move. So, like for me personally, if I'm going to trade range rotation, I really want to trade the extreme edge. I can see that there's a node here. I know what you're looking at, but I'd rather almost have it do that and this move here, right? If I was going to trade an edge. Let me set up this. All right, so just type course once, please, in chat. We'll give away the introduction course. It's only a 2-hour. It's good for someone who's never traded before. All right, if you've never traded before, if you have no idea about trading or investing, it's very, very, very beginner friendly. All right, it's only worth $99. It's only 2 hours long. It's not one of their mentorship programs. If you don't want it, we can re-roll it, or you can give it to a family member, whatever you want. Everyone that's emailed me, I promise I'll get back to you as soon as I get off stream. Okay, as soon as I get off stream. We'll do this and then get out of here. Give you guys a minute longer. Sip of my coffee. I hope you've all got some fun plans tonight. Do I trade the New York Open? Yes, I do. Ronnie, you need to be here. My advice is to join me at 9:15 Eastern time every morning, right? Because the first 15 minutes is important before the New York Open, because I go over what I'm looking at and why, all right? And that's the important thing. If I buy the 20-hour course, can I add the Ninja Pro indicator to it? Yeah, it gives you an option to add it for a discounted rate if you want to do that. Take care, Miguel. So I look for a break and retest model. Not always. Not always. Depends on the setup I'm looking at. Sometimes it's a straight reclaim and I'm not looking for the retest because I'm expecting a squeeze. It depends on what kind of condition we're in, what the market's doing. It is a model I like. For sure, it's a model I like, but I wouldn't say every time I'm looking at that. Okay, we're going to pull the winner here for the course. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Simpleton Jeep. Simpleton Jeep. Are you here? Yeah. Nice, man. Okay, just shoot me an email, please. Email me info@flowzonetrader.com. Email me with a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube. All right, a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube, just so I know it's you. And you can have a free course, the introduction course, all right? When I decide to have one-on-one mentorship, dibs on your first client, honestly, it's just, I'd love to, but it's just, I would have no time. You have to understand how much time I give up already doing this. It's a huge amount of time, but it would be really nice. Yeah, that's it. I do reply all the time, and we do try and do, next year we start doing them again. We do those Friday, we try and do the Fridays together. All right, folks. Yeah, lots of good traders. Even when I'm not there, lots of great traders there. We have a nice, tight-knit community, guys. That's the whole reason why we don't do like a monthly fee to join or it free to join, because then you get traders trading different ways. What we have at the moment is, 180 or 200 traders who, some of them are quieter than others, but some great traders that I've known for 5-6 years who can look after each other, and new additions coming all the time who add a huge amount of value. Okay, it's all about building a tight little community who can help each other, so that if you're looking for a trade, you can say, hey, I'm looking at this, what do you think? Does anyone agree? Are we all looking at the same things? And once you've got people saying, yeah, I see the same thing, it gives you good confidence, doesn't it? You start to build confidence in yourself and what you're looking at. Can I please show a snip or preview of what is in the Discord? Yeah, I guess I can do that. It's probably going to be full of lots of lots of Happy New Year messages right now, but yeah, we can. All right, so pre-market said all the areas we're looking at and what we're looking at in low volume. We go over all the same levels. You can see it's just constant chat from traders talking about what they're looking at, any help that they require. This is all in the futures one. Giving out the levels. We go out the key levels and the rotations. Everything constantly, every day. All right, just constantly. What levels we're looking at and why. Where traders are trapped and why. All right, the last 2 weeks obviously has been a bit quieter because we've been in holiday mode. Okay, and if we come over here, we have Coop's Corner where they have setups all together. So this is like a another group community inside the group. Great for traders looking to like build accounts together on small size. It's trading a very specific way together. I also have my swing investments here. So every time I'm looking at swing positions, I'm talking about what I'm looking at and why I'm looking at it and what my expectation is, where I'm going to position, where my entries are, where my exits are. We've had some great trades in here this year. As you can see, like here, what was this one? AMD, I got just under 50% out of that. So yeah, tons and tons and tons and tons. What else? We've got the news feed, economic calendar, testimonials, P&L, right? So some of my traders yesterday locked in over $10,000 and took payouts yesterday. There's tons in there, guys. There's literally tons in there. But again, there's no, like I always say, there is no pressure. You've got to do what's right for you as a trader, and you've got to trade within your means. That's the one thing people, I think, get wrong. Like they try and get rich quick, or they think spending $3,000 or $4,000 on a course is the answer, and it's not. I've been there, I've done it. Like you need to find. It doesn't. Like doesn't need to be me. If I don't speak to you, if you don't like the sound of my voice, the way I look, how I teach, the methodology, my pedagogy, teaching style, for sure don't buy the course, right? Because you're going to be aggravated. Find someone that works for you. It's no different. I say this every time people ask. It's no different to being in school or to going to a new college or university. We've all had it where there's a teacher that we love and they just click with us, right? The way they explain stuff makes sense to us and we get good grades. And then you have another subject that you have loads of interest in and the teacher just aggravates you. You don't like how they teach. Maybe they're not visual enough for you. Maybe they're too condescending. It could be anything, right? And then you switch off from that subject and your grades go bad. Well, you better make sure your grades aren't bad in this, right? Which means you've got to find something that works for you. It might not be me. I won't take offense from that. I want you guys to succeed. If there's someone else in the universe that you like, that teaches well, that you can make sense of, go with them. Don't spend money on something because someone else said it was good. Do I believe my course is good? Yeah. Do I believe 20 hours and an indicator and a Discord for currently $520 until tonight is good? Yeah, it's insane value. But I'm gonna say that I built it. You might think it's shit, and that's okay. No, the order flow. Yeah, the order flow course does not include the Discord. I'm really sorry, it doesn't include the Discord. I actually put it to a vote to a couple of guys who've been with me in a long time, and we all made the decision that what might happen is you're still going to get guys trading slightly different ways, and that's the only. I've been at this a long time. Been in many Discords. Okay, where it goes wrong is when you start getting traders trading in different ways. It's fine to look at the market in different ways, but when one's looking short and the other one's looking long at the same level and they don't agree, and then it just blows up, before you know it, you've got this cascading effect. Like that's what we're trying to avoid. We want positive reinforcement of everyone looking at the market in the same way, or at least a very similar way. And then when they've got a question, it's easier for people to answer to help. Launch is not working. What for the... Well, I just checked it. It is capital letters launch for the volume profile one. I'll check it now. I'm pretty sure I've just checked it. Enter coupon code launch. Yeah, it's working. So for volume and order flow trading, the code is launch. For the trading course, right, if you want 20% off the beginner to advanced course, the code is 2026, right, and that ends tonight at midnight. They both work. I've just double checked them just in case. All right, back to that grey box. You can see the key levels, right? You can see the key levels. So what would I be looking at the rest of the day? Like we talked about, if you rewind this to somewhere around here, one of you was asking, can we get back up to the highs of day? And I said the rotation is from here to here. And the next rotation will probably be here to here, or maybe if you're lucky, here to here. And if we get above that, then we can rotate higher. But most of the dense volume has been done here. These are the rotations. I avoid, as you well know, I avoid rotational markets. I don't like trading in them. All right, so they're not a favored market for me. But one of you was asking about that short. It did work out for you. You left volume trapped, then you came straight back down to this side. Now, if they do the same thing here and they can't reclaim, you might see the auction resume lower. But like I said, such low volume, guys. I'd be very, very, very careful trading into close today, especially on that imbalance, on that MOC. All right, any last questions before I get out of here? I'm about to leave the stream, and maybe I'll be back Friday, but definitely back next week, back to normal. All right, I think we're done. Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. Have a great evening. Have a great evening. Make sure you spend it with friends and family and loved ones and do all that good stuff. And I won't see you tomorrow. Remember, the market's closed tomorrow. And I'll probably will be back Friday, but if not, definitely back on Monday. Hopefully see some of you guys back on stream then, if not in the Discord before then. All right, peace and love, everyone. Take care. Use hard stops. Don't oversize. Remember, market's going to be here in a couple days and the next weeks and the next months and the next years. You don't need to do anything stupid, all right? Just relax. Just relax. All right, take care.